Yeah. We got to move on. We got a couple more callers to get to. This next caller is extra. This is Guacamole Kid. We know Guacamole is extra. Wants to talk about psychics and souls. What's up?
Is that me?
I think it's you.
Okay, hi, you guys.
Hi.
I kept on being struck by something Secular was talking about. I mean, he keeps on coming back to the idea of wanting proof of a soul and how can you quantify it. You were kind of mentioning something like that along those lines, right?
Yeah, for the sake of the next handful of minutes, brother. Yeah. Proof of a soul. That's just good enough to keep it rolling.
There's a lot of subjects I'd like to talk about, but as far as have you ever heard of an out-of-body experience?
I have.
Yeah.
Okay, I can teach anybody how to have an out-of-body experience and separate what some people call your soul from your body. You could do it tonight if you wanted to.
How difficult is it?
Is this a sex thing?
It's not. It's
slightly more interested now, Kenneth. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not difficult, but it's not easy. You know what I'm saying? It's not really difficult to do. Anybody can do it. But it's not easy in another respect because it is scary as hell. No, this is a true thing. Our whole experience is based on vibration. Everything that we experience in the world vibrates at a different level, right?
I don't know that that's right.
Yeah, I would say. Hang on. I think that's a concept that has been discussed about by people, and I think a lot of the people that have discussed that concept are not the actual people that are doing the science and the understanding. I think that's been more of a thing that we put into cool TV shows and movies, which I'm not saying it's not super cool, but I don't think the way that you're describing vibration, I don't think that's really what's going on.
Okay, I can teach anybody how to do this. It's not hard. And let me tell you how to do it. I'll tell you how to do it. When you're resting and in a state of rest, probably on your back, laying down, and you're kind of in that stage between that where hypnosis might set in. Okay, I'm watching the screen and I can't follow, but anyway, you're at the stage where hypnosis, where you're susceptible to where your mind is, your subconscious is coming through the veil of your conscious, right? And what you do is in your mind's eye. You know what that means in your mind's eye? You imagine yourself getting up from a laying down position and going through your house to a location that you know of, and you follow that course. So say, for example, I'd get up, I'd go to my door, I'd walk down the hallway, and I'd go to the kitchen, go to the refrigerator, okay? So in your mind's eye, you go up and you go through that routine. You go up through the door, down the hallway, into the kitchen, go to the refrigerator, and then wait a minute. So then you go the next time, you go back to where you started from. You do it again. This time, you notice a little bit more of your surroundings. You remember, is there a picture there? What does that picture look like? The details. Did you pass the bathroom? You notice the bathroom there. You go down the hallway, you go in the kitchen, you open the fridge. By the third or fourth time you do this, you'll notice that your body will start to go. Have you ever had a sleep seizure? You know what that is? You know what a sleep seizure is, or
sleep seizure?
They call it sleep paralysis.
Okay, sleep paralysis. I thought that's what you were going for. I thought that's what you were going for.
Your mind. But if you go through this process, if you go through this process, your mind and your body will start to attune to this feeling of sleep paralysis, where a lot of people say they see demons or whatever, and you can't move. That's a normal state of vibrational level that you need to be in to have an out-of-body experience. So once you get used to the scariness of it, the terror of it, and you learn to kind of go with it, that will take you to where eventually when you start going through this routine of going through the house to the refrigerator, whether you'll just accelerate and go right wherever you can want to go eventually when you practice it. But at first, it's scary. You go a little bit, you force yourself to wake up because it's terrifying.
Brother,
and that
I'm
is
with
the state
you.
of mind that you have an out-of-body experience in. It's the sleep.
I'm with you,
paralysis.
man. Can you hear me?
That's it.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. I'm with you. I'm going to call you Guac because I just like that. And I think we're on that level already, Guac.
Okay.
So I'm just going to try to read it back to you. And I'm trying to be as succinct as possible. Okay. So we don't have a bunch of time left, but it sounds like we got 4 steps. The first step is rest. The second step is imagine getting up. The third step is follow the same course repeatedly. And the fourth step is get used to the scariness. Is that how we do this? Because that sounds so easy. I could do it. I'll be doing this tonight. And if I get really good experiences from this, I will absolutely be letting everybody know. But I do have one question because it seems like
you will go into that sleep paralysis mode.
Yeah,
you will. If you do it right,
super fun.
You'll go into that sleep paralysis mode, and you will be. That will scare you.
Yeah. I'm excited. My question is, because on the second step it says use your imagination. My question is, how do we know it's not just imagination? Can I move stuff while I'm having an out-of-body experience? Can I interact with other people where they can come back? Like, could I have an out-of-body experience to go see Kenneth tonight? And I could just be like, hey man,
you're in a different realm. You're in a different, like there's radio beams, there's light beams flying around everywhere and we can't see them, right? There's sounds that we can't hear, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So there's things beyond our ability to just look out and say, there it is. We know they're there though. We know there's radio waves.
Guac,
we know there's light waves.
Guac, where do we have experiences?
What?
Where do we have experiences? Where do experiences happen?
Well, it depends on what vibrational level that you're at.
Why would we think that that's true?
In this vibrational level, we experience them in our world, in our reality. But there are other vibrational levels and other dimensional levels of existence that we don't have the radio equipment or whatever to look into. It doesn't mean they're not there.
I don't think you understood my question, so I'm going to try asking it in a slightly different way. Okay. Here in reality, where do human beings have their experiences? Where do our experiences happen to us? If I have an experience, where is the sensation of experience happening?
And right now, we're in a shared reality, whatever reality this is. This is a vibrational level that
where are my experiences happening?
Yeah, I think he's talking more local.
If you go into the vibrational level where you have an out-of-body experience, at least in my experience, you're in a kind of overlap of this world. And it doesn't look really like what for me to be used to, but you can see the shadows of this existence. For me to be having an experience,
it's I'm going to feed the answer to you because it's so obvious, but we're not getting there. My experiences happen in my brain, in my mind, right?
That's your perception, but you have a physical entity that's doing actions within this reality.
What you just said,
didn't
make any sense to me.
That's your perception of what you're doing, but from someone else's perspective, they can see you doing it.
All of my sense data feeds into my brain, right?
Not necessarily.
Where else would it go?
Your stomach, maybe. You eat something, it doesn't go into your brain.
Where does my sensation of my stomach happen? Does it happen in the stomach or in the brain?
If you have a stomach ache, you feel it in your stomach, right?
Do I feel it in my stomach, or is the sensation in my brain?
It's the brain. I know what you're trying to get at. You're trying to be logical and say, hey, this is just your brain making these things up.
That's not what I'm doing.
Telling you,
that's not what I'm doing. And because I'm muting you, because you are not listening, because you are anticipating the question rather than listening to the question, you're missing the point entirely. Okay? I'm asking you about the brain for a specific purpose, and it's not the one you just said. I'm going to unmute you now. Okay?
Okay, well, you tell me, because I don't know the answer.
I'm not giving you an answer. I asked you a question. So if my sense experience feeds into my brain, if my consciousness is happening in my mind, okay, and I have an experience of being out of my body, why would I think that experience is happening somewhere other than in my brain?
Is there a difference between the mind and the brain?
You tell me.
I think there is.
Why?
I think that the soul has a mind and the body has a brain, and they are connected, and it is part of a system. Right. Everything is part of a system. The
question is why.
Is a system.
The question is why. The question is why do you think that? I understand that you think that, but the question is why.
And we're kind of at where you called in at, Guac. We've taken this track all the way back around to me. Well, hang on, Guac. I'm gonna ask you the same thing that I was asking earlier that you called in about. Because you mentioned radio waves, you've mentioned, all kinds of stuff at this point, man. And where's that proof? I'm
just saying that those are things. There are things that are there. We know they're there because we can turn a radio on, and that is getting a beam from somewhere that will.
Right, and that's how we know radio waves are proof.
Right.
But we can't see it. We can't look at it. Oh, here comes that radio wave that's coming down the pike. I'm saying there's different.
Guac, I will accept the same thing that we do for radio waves for souls. How do we do it with the soul? How do we do it with the soul?
We can know where radio waves are. We can measure radio waves. We can use radio waves to share music with each other, for goodness sakes.
Yes.
Okay, well, I want to say one thing. If you do this procedure, you will go into that state of mind that I said where you get to where you just tense up and go into a sleep seizure. You got to work through.
You just said it. You'll have a state of mind. You just said it. You'll have a state of mind. You'll have an experience. You'll have a state of mind. You will have an experience. The question is, where is that experience happening?
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you, keep on interrupting me. Okay, if you want me to tell you, I'll tell you. Please don't. Let me finish my thought so I can tell you, because I'm trying to answer you.
All right. So just to reiterate, what you're going to answer is how we know it's not happening in the mind, right? You're going to answer how.
I'm just trying to explain it. You keep on answering me. I'm just interrupting me.
Are you going to answer how we know, or are you just going to keep repeating?
I'm not going to let you interrupt me again until I finish my thought. I'll tell you.
All right. See you, Joe, or Guac, whatever. Yeah. Peace.